So I just unboxed my 9th generation iPad, and if you guys haven't seen that video already, go check that out. But I did want to cover this iPad up with a good case or something that would allow me to use it with a stand or something like that to that effect. So there were two options for this. So I'm going to put this iPad off to the side and show you guys my options right now. I have the official Apple Smart Folio cover. I don't know why they call it smart, because it is not really doing anything that special. And this one has limited coverage, like protection, but it's the official Apple thing. So I want to see what it's like. The biggest headache with this is that it's $50. So it's going to have to be some magical stuff if it's going to make it worth that $50 asking price. And then I have this JETech protective case that I got off of Amazon for $17. Now, I'm not sure how good it's going to be, but that's the risk I'm willing to take right now, because if this is good enough, for about 40% or even less than 40% of the asking price of this case, I'll get a case that is not only, doing the same job, but also has more coverage, because this one has full coverage. So let me go ahead and open up the JETech case and show you guys what it's like, and then I'll move on to the iPad, the Apple case as well. So this is a light, I went with a light blue. Honestly, no real reason why. I just looked at the color and I liked it, so I went with it. So this does seem actually pretty nice. The material is nice and hard. That's what she said. And the case itself doesn't feel flimsy. Like, it's a nice, sturdy, solid case. I'm bending it and nothing happens. The lid as well, it doesn't feel flimsy. Let me see what the magnets are like. The magnets are usually the biggest letdown on cases like this. Does it hold the magnet back? Okay, so one disappointment right there is it won't hold the magnet back, so you'll just have it fall down on you, which is unfortunate. But I think if you're using it like this, it's not going to be too much of a hassle, but I really do wish they had one magnet on the back here just so that it would hold and it wouldn't fall right back down like this. Let me go ahead and put this off to the side for a second, and let's go ahead and open up the iPad Smart Cover Folio. It's not a folio, it's just a smart cover. I don't know why for the iPad Pros they call it folio, and for this it's something else. But let's see. You gotta lift it up, I think, or you gotta pull it out. Yeah, this seems about right. There we go. This is the Mallard Green. It works for the iPad. It works for a ton of iPads. It works for the 7th, 8th, and 9th generation iPad. It works for the 3rd gen iPad Air. It works for the 10.5-inch iPad Pro. So, I mean, there's a lot of accessories for this model because of how widely used it was. So, right off the bat, this feels very high quality. And I know it looks green, the blue on the camera, but it is not. I'm so surprised how poorly the camera is picking up the color. It's insane, because this looks very accurate, but this looks absolutely off. Maybe it's my lights? I don't know. In person, it just looks very different than it does on camera. I will put up another video here of this color. Hopefully that will give you guys a better idea of what it looks like, because it is not blue, I promise. I'm actually a little bit annoyed that it's not showing up right on camera. So this has a felt lining on the inside. The JETech case doesn't really have a very high quality inner protection thing. I definitely want to get a screen protector if I was using this case, because I feel like this might just not be as nice to my screen as this felt will be. This entire strip here is magnetic, so it's going to go ahead and latch onto the iPad, which I'll do right now, and let's see what it looks like, how the magnetic connection is. So the magnetic connection is not bad. It's struck on pretty quickly. And it doesn't really come off easy unless you give it a nice hard tug. So if I just try to like do that, it's not working. I have to give it a proper tug for it to come off, and it goes right back on pretty easy. That's the one thing about iPad, the Apple cases, is that they always have fantastic fit and finish. It just really is, it lines up perfectly, and it doesn't move around. Or I thought that, but yeah, it does move around. The magnetic hold isn't as strong as to like it not moving around when you kind of like, if you put it into your bag or pull it out or something. That's unfortunate. At $50, I really have very high expectations for this case. So it does have that auto-magnetic wake sleep feature, which every case should have at this point if you're having an iPad case. And then you've got the foldable back here, which is the main purpose of buying a case like this, is to be able to fold it and then have it sit like this or have it sit like that. have it sit like this so you can use it. Now, this is usually the dubious angle, because whenever I put pressure, it usually makes the iPad drop down. So in this case, I will say though, even though it did drop down, it didn't drop down until I put a lot of pressure right near the magnetic connection point. Let me go ahead and put that back in. It does, the magnets aren't the greatest thing in the world here, and obviously it's not enough magnetic power. That's why a full coverage case would have been nice. But let me just general use it. But look at that. Yeah, that's a problem. What it does is it kind of just like slides out from underneath it if you're using it like this. So really using it like this isn't very advisable option. I really hope that it would be, but even the Apple case just can't do it, because I know third-party ones can't. It's sad to see this one can't either. So you're always going to want to use it like this, which is unfortunate because there is no angle you can play with at all. It's locked into this angle. It's this, or you use it in your hand, which is not really a good option. Given it's $50, you can definitely buy a case that is better than this. Let's see what it is. Sturdy. It won't tip over even if you hit it, but if you hit it from this side, it will. Yeah, there you go. So yeah, I mean, $50, but really not the most impressed with it. It's okay. I mean, at $20, a very different story. I'd be okay with it, but at $50, because it doesn't cover the back at all. Just look at that. You know, it gives the iPad absolutely zero protection. Nothing. That's unfortunate, because I would want a little bit of protection for the back of my iPad as well, just to protect it from scratches more than drops or anything. Just, you know, especially if you're going to be putting this in a backpack, you'd want it to not be in a precarious situation where things could scratch it up. So let's go ahead and move on and try the JETech case, or JETech. I don't know how to pronounce that. Let's see what the fit is like on here. So it's got a really snug fit, and it looks really nice, actually. So as I said, this is a full coverage case. It complements the silver really well, this color. So if you have a silver iPad, very highly recommend that. So if you can see, that's awesome. It does have the magnetic hold. Now the magnet isn't as strong, because when I flap it down, you guys can see it kind of comes open. It does hold, but very lightly. Like if I don't shake it, it'll stay. But if I shake it even a little bit, it just comes right open. And that seems to be a problem with these third-party cases. The magnets just don't seem to be as strong enough as Apple. I wonder if it's just because they're cheaping out and not putting in enough magnets, or if the magnets that they're using are cheaper quality, which don't have the same kind of force or magnetic force. So then we have the same trifold on the back, this triangle fold. The magnet on this isn't that strong either. It just like, it really doesn't give me a very good impression there. So go ahead and try this. So definitely feels a little bit more, not a little bit more. It seems it's exactly as sturdy as the Apple one was. Let's go ahead and try it this way, the toughest way, and see how it goes. So because there's no magnet, it's not going to fall off, at least. You can use it. You can use it like this, but immediately it just starts to kind of slide out and then kind of come to this position where it's resting like that. You can use it, but still not advisable is what I'd say, which is the problem with these folio cases. While they're great for protection of the screen, to use it as a stand is unfortunate, and I think that my search will have to continue, because neither of these options are very appealing to me. It's just, it doesn't feel like a great option, especially because I would like to have a little bit of options with angles, because sometimes I'd like it to be higher, sometimes I'd like to be straighter up, especially when I'm on FaceTime calls, because for some FaceTime calls, you know, just this angle is too sturdy. I'd definitely like it to be a little bit further back, or a little bit, you know, just a little bit more options there for sure. So of these two cases, I definitely recommend the JETech one more, and definitely advise against buying the Apple Smart case, the Smart Cover. What do they call it? The Smart Cover, yeah. I'd advise against the Apple Smart Cover unless you can find it on sale for like 20 bucks. This isn't worth it, and I would honestly stay away from it, which is weird because I really haven't recommended against an Apple case in a very long time. It's just, but this one is charging way too much for what it is, and it doesn't provide any real advantages that a third-party folio or smart cover wouldn't. So don't buy this one. And what I'm going to do is, since I'm not really happy with either of these options, the adventure will continue. I will try to order some more cases and try to find out if I can find one that I really like. So stay tuned for that. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already for more iPad case discovery. And if you do want to check either of these out, I'll have them linked down in the description below, along with some other cases if I do find more that I find interesting. I'll have them all linked down in the description as well, so go check that out. And if you haven't already, be sure to follow me on social media. I'll have all the handles right here on the screen, and of course, linked down in the description below as well. Let me know what you guys thought of these two cases. Do you guys share my same thoughts? Do you have different thoughts? Let me know down in the comments below. I'd be very interested to know. Thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you in the next one.